Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast. This is a quick channel update for you, just to give you an idea of my plans for the rest of the year on this channel. Now this is some Kentucky bourbon. It's called Four Roses Single Barrel. Now this is actually owned by the Kirin Brewery Company of Japan. And they've owned Four Roses for a little while now. You know, back in the day, I don't know who owned it, but you know, they weren't really doing a good job of distributing the best versions of the brand, even in America. But you know, Kirin bought them out and then whipped them back into shape and started bringing them back into prominence. So this is actually a very popular bourbon, and it's probably in my top 5 bourbons that I've had. So you have, I'm just going to give you some quick tasting notes here. We got flavors of maple, brown sugar, caramel apple, and a swift uppercut of spice notes with cinnamon, nutmeg, and chili flake. So if you like bourbon, and bourbon is a good liquor, a good spirit, if you want value for flavor, because you could still get some really good bourbons for reasonable prices, whereas if you're trying to do cognac or brandy or whiskey or something like that, you could get pretty expensive. So bourbon is a good choice for like your every week drink of choice. So oh yeah, it's good stuff. 100 proof though, people, so be careful. So this is a channel update, of course. I have some notes scribbled on some paper. And then at the end of the video, I'm actually going to do some shoutouts for the first time ever, which is kind of long overdue, right? So what's going on with the channel? Alright, so we got a lot of things on this list, actually. It's not going to be ordered, but I'm just going to go down the list here. So right now we got a lot of vids on the channel now. I've been around for, what, 16, 17, 3.5 years now? 3.5 years? Yeah, I think they're close. 3 years and 3 months. No, 3 years and 5 months. So, you know, I'm just still churning out a bunch of stuff. Again, my goal for this channel when I started it was to have almost like a little mini library of resources for people to use, as long as YouTube exists, hopefully, for those that are interested in Asian film. So I kind of like how it's going. I do want to focus a little bit more on industry trends. I know I've been hammering out individual movie reviews for a while now, but there's a purpose for that, because, you know, sometimes when I pick individual movies to review, I do it for a reason. Sometimes I just rewatch them for my collection and I want to review them, but other times, especially with like recent Japanese films and stuff like that, I try to pick films that are maybe not what people would expect out of a Japanese film. You know, like really good quality dramas or like art house style films, stuff like that I like to cover too. But, you know, I like anything if it entertains me. But again, I'm trying to build that up. But again, the industry trends I want to focus a little bit more on, and a way to do that is to do more bigger projects. Like, you know, the Asian Horror Year in Review playlist, which is, you know, probably the biggest project on the channel. The whole purpose of that playlist really is to, you know, set in stone what the industry trends were during its history. You know what I mean? With a good sample size is like the as support for my opinions and what type of films they actually produce, regardless of what, you know, more misinformed people might tell you. You know, like all Japanese films have ghost girls in them, which I continue to see online, even YouTube, which is quite infuriating. But anyone who watches this channel knows better, right? You know better. So again, I'm going to continue building that up, and as my main goal, and you know, continue adding content to try to, I guess, accomplish that goal. To have a nice little library where people could be informed about industry trends and get some recommendations along the way. So I'm going to be doing more list videos during the second half of the year and into next year. Now, list videos, you know, I've been doing, the only list videos I've done really are the director top 10s, which I'm going to continue doing because there's still a lot of Japanese directors I want to do top 10s on. I've been avoiding directors who are still active for the most part. You know, I think I did a Kitano top 10 and a Zhang Yimou top 10. But I try to focus on directors whose careers are basically over, but I might change that going forward. But again, lots of director top 10 lists coming out. Genre top 10s I want to start doing. So do like, 10 Japanese horror films from the 2010s that you should watch, or 10 Korean films from the 1990s to check out, and stuff like that. And then actors as well I'll get to in the future, like top 10 Hiroshi Abe films or whatever. So again, the top 10s will be coming out. I want to focus on the genres a bit more, though, going forward. Romantic comedy, stuff like that. Then we got, another goal I have is to get 100 separate reviews for each of my playlists. So 100 Korean movie reviews, 100 Japanese movie reviews, and 100 Hong Kong, mainland China, Taiwanese movie reviews, right? All lumped in that one playlist. Because I think 100 of each would be a nice little accomplishment. You know what I mean? It'll mean that I'm building that little mini library that I'm trying to build. So I'm gonna keep focusing on the individual reviews as well, and then maybe I might try to time it. I don't know if I'll be able to do this, but I'll try to time it so that my 100th review of each of those playlists will be in the same week. And I'll pick like one of my favorites from Japan, South Korea, and like Hong Kong or something to review that one week as like a little celebration of accomplishing that. So I'm going to be doing that as well. The TV drama reviews will continue. Those are harder to fit in, but because their length. But I have been, adding to the list there, so those will continue in the future on a sporadic basis. I will be adding a video to my Takashi Miike playlist because I watched 3 of his more recent films in the past half year, and I want to review all 3 of those in one video. So I will be adding to that playlist. There'll be one additional installment. I think it's part 11 or something like that we'd be on, so that'll be coming up in the next few months. I will be continuing the Asian Horror Year in Review playlist, of course. I think we're up to my top 15 films of 2014, which will be covered in the last 2 videos of that particular, or the last 2 parts of that video, and those will be out in the next few months. And then, of course, we will move on to 2015. I want to scrub some of the distribution channels for 2015 before I start it. Look on Yes Asia for 2015 releases, look on Amazon, and just try to figure out if I've seen all the movies that I want to see before tackling 2015 and Asian horror. I'm getting close on 2015, though. I'm getting close. But we'll finish off 2014, and there's some good movies I'll be covering in that top 15 list, so look out for that. A few other pretty interesting little projects that I'm going to do that I'm really excited for. I'm going to be covering the Mr. Vampire film series. The Chinese hopping vampires. I'm going to be covering at least 4 of those films, like Mr. Vampire 1, 2, 3, and 4, which are the official entries, and then probably 1 or 2 of the spin-offs or unofficial entries in the series as well. And I'll be doing those 1 movie for each video. So that'll be like probably every Monday for like 6 weeks straight. I'll be doing a Mr. Vampire review, which will be pretty fun. I'll probably do that at some point in the summertime as well. So I'm looking forward to that because I haven't seen those movies in a while. Also, another one that I'm working on is I want to review a few Turkish horror films because I've seen a decent number of them, not a lot. But I'm a pretty big fan of some Turkish horror films, but I was thinking, is it really applicable to this channel? And I'm trying to get like a decent answer as to whether Turkey is in Asia or Europe, but I'm having trouble getting a clear answer. I figured I could just Google it, and it would tell me yes or no, but I'm having trouble finding an answer to that. But apparently it's kind of in Asia, so I might do that anyway, just out of fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to review in one video the Dabe film series, Dabe 1 through 6, and I just recently watched all of those, and there's some pretty cool stuff in that series. And I'm going to review a few other horror films from that director, as well as another director from Turkey who's made some big-time films in the past few years. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. So we'll be doing that. That'll be a pretty cool video, I think. And then, what else we got here? Oh, in my big video last year, because remember, each year I've done like a huge project. Year 1 was the Asian horror playlist, where I was updating it almost every week, which it was kind of ridiculous when I think about it. And then the second year was the Takashi Miike playlist. The third year was that 80-minute video, The Death of J-Horror. And in the end of that video, I said I was going to continue the Asian horror, I guess, discussion video series by doing a comparison between different years. You know, a recent year versus a year during the early 2000s, and kind of picking which year I prefer from the different industries, looking at the films that were produced. More of a subjective opinion, you know what I mean? And I still want to do that. So I'm going to start working on that. Hopefully I get it out at some point this year. Probably, I really should try to get that out maybe in October, right? So I'll try to get that done. And then we'll continue picking between different years and comparing them. I think that'll be pretty interesting. And then, you know, I will include, well, yeah, I'll include links to all of my playlists below. You know, obviously, my playlists, I'm looking at my channel right now. You know, you want to, if you're a new subscriber, you got to check out the Asian horror playlist if you're at all interested in Asian horror. Again, some of these playlists are pretty long. It'll take it forever to get through them. But, you know, if you're doing laundry or something, just turn me on and listen to me, right? You could do, the DVD collection playlist is huge as well, because a lot of my favorite movies are in my DVD collection. So I would check that out as well if you want recommendations. And then the Takashi Miike playlist, check that out if you're at all interested in him. And then that Death of J-Horror video, the 80-minute video I did last year, I think is probably the best thing I've done on this channel. So if you haven't seen that and you're interested in horror movies, you should check that out as well. I'll include links to all those in the description box. You can find them on my channel as well. Everything's in a playlist. And then, what else we got? Oh, one thing I mentioned back in the day was an anime horror review playlist, and that's still on my things to do, but it's going to take a while to compile that data, because at this point it's been years since I've even seen a lot of those movies or TV shows, so I'm going to have to rewatch a bunch of them again and kind of order them and go through, you know, really beef up my reviews for all of those. So it's still in kind of the pipeline, but it's a lower priority right now. So those are kind of the things I'm thinking of in the near future. There's some pretty cool stuff there, and we'll keep hammering out the individual reviews, and I'll keep, you know, adding installments to most of the playlists that already exist, including the DVD collection playlist as well. You know, because I bought some DVDs and or Blu-rays over the past few months, so you know I'll continue some installments of that as well. So that's kind of the game plan. It's kind of the game plan. So let's do a few shout-outs here, because I've never really given anyone a shout-out ever. Well, I shouldn't say that. On my collaboration playlist, whenever I would link you to a collaboration I've done, I've mentioned other channels. But, you know, I have gotten shout-outs to my channel ever since I really started the channel. I've never really done it myself. I'm feeling kind of guilty. So let's go. So we got A Touch of Film. Obviously, I watch Hearst's reviews and or Blu-ray collection videos whenever he comes out with those. He usually comes out with at least 1 or 2 videos a week or every few weeks, so he's good. I watch him consistently. And then we have AsianFilmist, but it's not AsianFilmist anymore. I've just noticed this now. This is Eiga-Man Ray. So AsianFilmist is now Eiga-Man Ray. So Ray, you know, he said he was going to change the name of his channel to be more consistent with the type of films he's covering, and it looks like he's done that. And I kind of like that. Eiga in Japanese means movie, so it's really Movie Man Ray is the translation, I think. So he's, you know, because he covers mostly Japanese films, and if you want updates on the most recent Japanese films that are out in theaters in Japan, like, he's the guy. He's the guy, so check that out. I'll include links to all these channels in my description box. Oh, BANDMAID. If you're not subscribed to BANDMAID, subscribe to them. There's a channel called Beyond Ghibli, which is an anime analysis channel, and check that one out, because their videos are very good. I'm skipping over the big name channels here that everyone already knows about. We got, Cinema Nippon. If you haven't seen any videos from Cinema Nippon, you really should. You know, their videos are very like high quality with ridiculous amounts of research behind them. So it's very studious, academic type videos that are very informative. So subscribe to them. One new subscription that I have over the past year is a guy by the name of Daisuke Beppu. And I discovered him by looking through and finding DVD collection videos, or just collection videos in general, which I really like to watch on YouTube. And he, I think he was going through his Criterion collection, and he focuses a lot on Criterion collection releases, but he also covers a lot of other stuff too. Like, he went through, some of his projects are kind of ridiculous. His channel is kind of similar to mine in terms of its organization, because he'll do like a 20-part playlist on Dario Argento films or something. He'll cover almost every Argento film, and then at the end of that list, he'll do like a ranking of every Argento film in order. So he's kind of like me in terms of being like very like precise and documented on everything. So I would definitely recommend him if you haven't seen anything that he's done. And he'll cover stuff other than Japanese films as well, but you know, he just did an Akira Kurosawa thing that was ridiculous too. So he's very good. We got Fake Plastic Films, who he hasn't updated recently again. I think he might be on leave again for a little bit from YouTube, but he's good to subscribe to, because whenever he comes back or drops a video, it's usually pretty informative. Another guy who doesn't really review movies, but he gave me a shout out, and there was no reason for him to do it, really. It's it's a J vlogger called Gimmeabreakman, if you've ever heard of him. He's quite an interesting fellow. He does, he'll talk about some controversial subjects and stuff, but he lives in Japan, and I think he's a teacher. And I really like he does like walkabout videos and cycling videos in Japan, and he'll talk to you while he does it. Those are my favorite videos of his, but he also used to do some Japanese language type stuff too. So, maybe some people might find him a little bit abrasive, but I mean, the guy has like 100. He has 2 channels that are like over 100,000 subscribers, and he gave me a shout out, which is, it's a rarity when someone that big does that. So I gotta mention him. Another person is Japanophile. I got here. He uploads once in a while, but usually when he uploads, it's something really interesting. So we've been subscribers to each other for a while, like a while since I started. So check him out. We got My Cinematic Self, who again is kind of on leave right now, kind of like Fake Plastic Films. But whenever he comes out with stuff, he focuses a lot on like indie type stuff too. So whenever he decides to come back, or you could check out his previous portfolio of reviews, he's good as well. We got Pieces of Work, of course. Corey, who is also on leave right now. He just did an update video just the other week. There's a chance that he might not come back to YouTube at all, it looks like, but there's a chance he might. He's just taking a break right now to kind of sort things out. So, definitely check out some of his stuff that's already up, because he's got a ton of reviews up. And also, I did a bunch of collaborations with him. Go to his podcast playlist, and there's at least 10 collabs still up with me, him, and Ray from AsianFilmist, and a bunch of other guys. All right, we got... Oh yeah, so that means the collaborations, my collaboration projects right now are kind of on hold right now. I'm kind of focusing on this other stuff as well until we figure out what Corey's doing. And then maybe if he doesn't come back, maybe I'll reach out to Ray or Harris or some of the other guys who usually participate. Maybe we'll do our own thing or something. But for now, I'm kind of focusing on the non-collab stuff. Then we have, who else? Oh, That Phat Samurai guy. I think I first found him when he reviewed the Raid films years back. And he reviews martial arts films. He does a lot of Blu-ray, DVD updates as well. And he also does some mainstream Hollywood reviews as well. So he, basically with him and his wife, they're basically like 2 people that you would just love to hang out with all day. So that's kind of the big kind of positive to that channel. It's just so entertaining to listen to. So I would recommend you check out a few of their videos, especially some of their martial arts movie reviews, because they're good. They know a lot about, you know, they're kind of like me in terms of how they like the choreography and the framing of shots and stuff like that. Then we got, who else here? Who else? There was a channel called The Movie Beat who reviewed Korean films for a while. They're kind of on leave, I guess, as well. I feel like the last of the Mohicans here. But if they upload, you know, check out some of their prior reviews as well, because they have some good reviews up. The Silver Spleen, of course. Sean's been around longer than just about anybody, I think, doing this stuff right now. So he does a lot of Hong Kong reviews. Check him out. You know what I mean? He doesn't mince words. You know what I mean? He's just straight up honest with a lot of his reviews, and that's good. And I think that's it on my list. Now, of course, you got Harris Dang, who doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he does a blog. I think he does a blog. And he reviews for various sites, so check him out. And, of course, the other, I got a shout-out from Alicia Malone back in the day a few years ago, so check her out as well. She's a very nice person. And, I mean, that's not everybody, I don't think. So I don't mean to be comprehensive with this list, but that's a good batch of people to check out. I hope I didn't forget anybody that I should have. But regardless. So that's this update. And, yeah, we got a lot of stuff to do. Peppering some different stuff here as well, so I'm kind of excited. And we'll just keep cranking through this stuff. So as always, I'll see you next time.